Welcome to Baytown Hyundai, your East Houston source for all your Hyundai needs. Today we'll be showing you yet another one of Hyundai's exquisite new models. For more information about any of our inventory, you can visit us on location or visit us at BaytownHyundaiofHouston.com. Well, good afternoon and welcome everyone. Today's review has now brought us here for a much more up-close and personal encounter with the very fast and very popular 2014 Hyundai Veloster Turbo. And now, with all of that being said, this is going to be a complete and in-depth review of the Veloster Turbo, and this does entail a complete startup and overview of the engine, as well as a good look at many of the unique and notable styling cues and multiple features, technologies, and creature comforts that now make up this high-performance, sporty version of Hyundai's popular, yet most unique design to ever come out of their lineup. And so, bearing all that new information in mind, let's go ahead and climb aboard and we'll check it out. To begin with, our more basically equipped 2014 Veloster Turbo today is wearing the Vitamin C metallic exterior. It's a very bright and vibrant, almost sunset pearlescent orange. Now, standard on Veloster Turbo, regardless of packages equipped, it does come standard with Hyundai's proximity key. Basically, using the standard key fob remote here, it provides complete remote-free access into the vehicle along with a standard push-button ignition. Gaining entry into the Veloster Turbo is as simple as having the key fob anywhere on your person, such as I have it here in my pocket. And as you just saw, just a moment ago, we just unlocked the Veloster. And both the locking and unlocking is done through the large rectangular button hidden flushly into the two front door handles. To lock it, just simply push it once. One beep indicates locking, and two beeps indicates unlock. And beautifully contrasting the uniqueness of this Vitamin C metallic exterior, our particular vehicle's interior has been fully upholstered in a standard black perforated leather, with light gray accents and light gray color coordinated stitching running throughout the leather seats. Now, to start the Veloster with the proximity key fob is very simple. All you have to do is have the key fob anywhere within the vehicle, then put your foot on the brake. Manual or transmission models, you hold the brake and depress the clutch. And upon doing all of that, simply locate and hit this beautiful blue illuminated start button in the center console to fire up the engine. Beautiful smooth purr from that newly developed turbocharged Gamma Series 4-cylinder power plant. Now, unlike the standard Veloster or even the Veloster Reflex Edition, the Veloster Turbo and Turbo R-Spec models comes with a specific sport-tuned front hydraulic power-assisted steering system, providing excellent feedback through the wheel, not too tight but yet not too fluid that it doesn't provide a good resistance in the wheel overall. A very nice and sharp, pointy, very nice and smooth steering system overall. In our Veloster Turbo, and pretty much on all Veloster Turbos, it comes standard with a full 3-spoke leather trim steering wheel with a nice soft supple feel to the leather and materials overall, nice dark gray painted accents running along the lower spoke and both sides of the steering wheel, and in typical upscale Veloster fashion, it has lots of electronic buttons and creature comforts located throughout various areas of the vehicle. Now, even though the Veloster Turbo is one of the highest performing vehicles in Hyundai's entire lineup without going into the V6 and V8 categories, it does come available with two specifically calibrated transmissions. Our tester today is sporting the electronically controlled 6-speed Shift-Tronic automatic transmission with aptly named Shift-tronic manual shifting capabilities just to the right-hand portion of the drive portion of the shifter. However, if your taste varies for a little bit more of a driver-oriented model, a 6-speed short-throw manual transmission is also available. You can also hear that this vehicle has electronic child protective safety locks, which will automatically lock the vehicle once the car is put into gear and will only unlock the vehicle when the car is put back into park. Now, even though our vehicle today does not have the upgraded technology package available for Veloster Turbo, it does come standard with a reverse backup camera. So just put the car in reverse. And as you can see, the nice 7-inch HD monitor automatically displays a very wide-angle reverse camera. Beautiful. Only the driver's side window is automatic in both directions. And when you close the door to the Veloster with the proximity key fob in your possession, you can hear that the vehicle generates a rather elongated exit chime to let you know that the proximity key fob has now exited the vehicle. Now, unlike more basic trim levels of the Veloster, which get a standard 1.6-liter Gamma inline 4-cylinder engine, equipped with standard gasoline direct fuel injection and dual continuous variable valve timing, the Veloster Turbo gets a much higher pedigree to go with the high-performance namesake. Underneath the hood of the Veloster Turbo, you'll find the same 1.6-liter dual overhead cam, 16-valve, turbocharged and intercooled gasoline direct fuel injected inline 4-cylinder. Now, albeit this is still part of the Gamma power plant lineup, this one has a few more goodies to give it a little extra oomph. For starters, it has a twin scroll turbocharger and Hyundai's standard dual continuous variable valve timing. Altogether, this little car produces a healthy 201 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. Now, depending on your transmission choice, you can get one of two EPA fuel economy ratings. In our automatic tester today, we have 24 miles per gallon city and 31 miles per gallon on the interstate highway on recommended premium unleaded gasoline. However, actually in the manual transmission version, the highway miles per gallon goes up by 2 mpg, so you get 24 city and 33 miles per gallon on the interstate highway, both engines, as again stated, running on recommended premium unleaded gasoline as they are turbocharged power plants. Also, as you can see, the hood is supported by 2 full sets of gas shocks. And now let's see about a few revs of that upgraded turbo inline 4 and see what kind of soundtrack she produces. Absolutely beautiful sounding motor. A much more pronounced sound, being that this car does have much larger dual outlet exhaust outlets at the back. What a beautiful sound, and much more responsive than the standard Veloster. And with all that in mind, let's go ahead and turn on the headlights. You do have automatic LED daytime running lights as well as turn on the fog lights and the hazard lights as usual. And now let's take this quick opportunity to walk around the exterior of the Veloster Turbo. Now, anyone who's already familiar with the Veloster's wacky nature and one-off design pretty much knows that the car is capable of many more things aside from being one of the most unique designs that Hyundai's ever created. The Turbo model just adds a little bit more of that higher grade performance that many of the youthful buyers who look at this car want. Now, the Veloster Veloster Turbo already comes standard with plentiful amounts of technologically advanced options, starting with these chrome, silver, and black bezeled halogen projector headlights with factory LED accents running around the main bulb, and also LED daytime running lights running along the lower section of the light housing itself. You can see a much different front fascia to the Veloster Turbo compared to the standard one. Finished in a matte black. Now, as standard equipment on Veloster Turbo models are these set of 18-inch blade design aluminum alloy wheels, painted on many parts of the spokes, but also have a nice polished dark gray piece in each of the inner parts of each of the spokes. You can see the small black plastic vents in the hood, although these are non-functional on any Veloster model. Automatic rain sensing wipers. And although this particular one doesn't have it, the Veloster can come available with a power tilting and sliding sunroof. Monochromatic LED turn signal equipped mirrors. You got full wraparound standard LED taillights. Overall, the Veloster Turbo has a much more menacing appearance compared to its standard rivals. As you can see, not only sporting the beautiful red turbo badge right here on the back, but also a much more pronounced rear fascia and diffuser, along with those giant 2.5 or 3-inch rear exhaust as standard equipment on just the turbo models only. Also can see your standard backup camera. Standard rear defrosting heated glass with rear windscreen wiper. In the Turbo's case, unlike some of the other models, it has a monochromatic or paint matched exterior rear spoiler that sort of divides the rear hatch. You have the upper end of the glass and also the lower end, both of which are rear heated and defrosting as mentioned previously. You can also see the shark fin style antenna for standard XM satellite radio, and also for standard Hyundai Blue Link subscription. Such a potent little version of an already unique and off-the-wall design, providing over 200 horsepower in a small, compact, short wheelbase, 3-door vehicle that's sure to attract many a youthful and even a more driver-focused personnel. But now that we've had a walk around to the exterior of the Veloster Turbo, let's take a better look at what makes up the interior. As stated previously on a lot of Veloster Turbo models, this particular vehicle is sporting the black perforated leather interior, coming standard with two-tone light gray accents running along the lower parts and upper parts of the seats, perforated portions in the center part for the heated interior seats, and also turbo embroidery in each of the front seats. Then this one also has manual recline, but strangely actually has a power lumbar support. This one does not have the turned aluminum sill plates. However, as you would expect on a little bit more of an upscale version of such a compact vehicle, you do get plentiful amounts of powered amenities, including power door locks and window locks, an automatic one-touch driver's side window in both directions, along with the other two power windows for the other two doors on the passenger side of the vehicle. Matte silver finished interior door handles compared to some of the chrome ones on more basic models. And also, in our particular tester as coming standard, is an 8-speaker 450 watt Dimension premium audio system with a factory 8-inch subwoofer located in the trunk. Door closes with a nice big authoritative thunk, being that on the driver's side it is a much larger door. But once you step into the interior of the Veloster Turbo, you'll notice slight subtle changes compared to its more basic non-turbocharged siblings. For starters, you can see that small things like the gauge cluster, for example, you can see that it still has the beautiful blue electroluminescent ring and numerics around the exterior, but the needles have since changed to white over the standard red ones like you would find in a base with either with both the Style and Tech package for a more loaded version and also the Reflex edition, which we also have a review of as well. Also up here in the center, you can see this nice little Veloster insignia over your standard LCD screens that display all sorts of relevant information. Now here on the steering wheel, like I said before, you have plentiful amounts of creature comforts, including hands-free Bluetooth with voice command. You have your radio functions over here on the left, including radio modes, volume controls, and so on. Your active cruise control over here, and your trip control buttons as you saw just a moment ago. Now with vehicles equipped with the optional technology package, you also have things like automatic running lights, the full panoramic sunroof like I showed you earlier. This one you can see it just has a standard pattern headliner. But also it includes other things such as onboard navigation and so on. However, in all Velosters, whether it's base, reflex, or turbo R-Spec models, you do get a standard 7-inch touchscreen LCD display that displays all relevant information. Over here, you can see you have FM and AM radios along with your standard XM satellite radio. You can hear that beautiful punch from that 8-inch Dimension subwoofer in the trunk. Down here at the bottom of your touchscreen, you have your hands-free phone, Seek track button, and vehicle setup. You also can see you can do sound, your display, voice recognition, put the vehicle in valet mode, and overall change even the theme and screen of your vehicle. You can go from your basic black to blue, and also to brown. Let's just leave it at black for basic. And so on and so forth. And you can actually change, let's say you drive this vehicle internationally from like America to Canada or whatever, you can actually change the temperature outside from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Then you've also got vehicle info, your standard media, and also your one disc CD player up top. Now down below, and there is an upgraded available system for this vehicle, which is the single zone climate control system. Now on our Veloster today, it's a little bit more basic than the automated climate control, which you'll see here in a minute. This one, you have a standard fan speed right in the center, introducing the AC in the middle. You have your temperature control for the larger exterior knob, climate zones over here on the left, and also front and rear defroster, air conditioning, recycling, and also maximum AC. Now, compared to a basic Veloster, you actually have a few more buttons on either side of the climate control system as standard equipment. your passenger airbag light, that's a standard option, but you also have 2 buttons for the dual stage heated seats for both the driver and passenger. Hence the reason the seats are actually perforated. But over here on the right, your traction control button has actually been moved from over here on the left-hand side of the steering wheel to the right-hand side of the steering wheel, or the right-hand side of the entire console. Also down in the center is your beautiful blue illuminated engine start button. Now on a standard Veloster with just a key and remote system, this would just simply say Veloster with a nice little sort of plug cap right in the middle. You also have standard iPod auxiliary and USB inputs, along with standard 12-volt cigarette lighter style outlets. As far as ergonomics go, or aesthetics if you will, the interior of the vehicle is comprised of this almost carbon fiber-like sort of material, but it's pretty hard to the touch, but it does have a bit of a rubberized feel. A little bit more of the soft grain material here on the dash. You have little bits of painted plastics here throughout the interior. Again, leather trimmed steering wheel, so a nice soft supple feel to that as well. Leatherette padded door panels, more of the carbon fiber-like material here. Your bright silver accents for your grip handles on the doors, and also a nice bit of leatherette stitched padding here on your armrest. And the same can be said going down the center console, as you do have bits of padded leather here underneath these like grip storage handles here below, and also it just kind of continues on down the sides of the vehicle. Also a little bit more hard touch plastic for the cup holders in the center. You have a dual tier center console, plentiful storage capabilities. And up here on the mirror, you also have your active Hyundai Blue Link system, your active directions, and also your SOS. Standard map lights. And as I said, if our vehicle had the particular upgraded technology package for Veloster Turbo, it would have a full panoramic sunroof running across the back. But overall, the Veloster Turbo combines high performance in the form of the turbocharged power plant with beautiful interior design and exterior design, providing a little bit more of a wacky nature to an otherwise youthful inspired vehicle. But with all that in mind, let's go ahead and turn off the engine. Just hit the button again. Simple as that. And with that being done, let's go ahead and check out the rest of the Veloster Turbo. The trunk can be accessed either via the proximity key fob or just simply pulling on the tab in the small portion under the Hyundai logo. And it reveals a very generous amount of interior space. Your factory subwoofer located over here on the left-hand side of the trunk. You could probably fit about 2 or 3 suitcases back here with relative ease. Your standard cargo cover attached via cords to the rear hatch of the vehicle, and also 60/40 split fold rear seats, which fold down via small little triggers, which I'll show you here in a minute. Also, you can see a small warning for rear end passengers. If you're over a certain height, the trunk can actually injure somebody if you're of maybe about 6'3" or 6'4". So you wouldn't want to put taller people in the back of this vehicle. Now, as far as rear legroom is concerned, it depends on the height of your passenger, but taller people such as myself, I'm about 6'1", will have a little bit of difficulty getting into the back of the vehicle. Not that it's a bad thing, because there actually are people that can fit back here. You can also see your speaker located here just behind the driver's door. But you can see, depending on the location of your passenger, there really is not a ton of room back here. And also you do have to duck your head actually getting into the vehicle itself. But the 60/40 seats just fold down. You see a small trigger up here. Just pull on it. And that automatically releases the seat. And assuming your passenger seat's in the correct place, it'll fold all the way flat, almost doubling your amount of cargo room. Now for a car of its price tag, it actually is very, very good quality, especially when it comes to the building materials and quality itself. Just listen when you close the door. A very soft, authoritative thunk, and nothing close to a tinny rattle like some of the older vehicles that Hyundai ever made. As far as standard safety features go, if you suddenly find all 201 horsepower propelling you towards something you don't want to hit, you have dual front stage airbags, or front impact airbags, side curtain and side impact airbags, pre-seat belt tensioners, active head restraints, and also electronic creature comforts such as ABS and electronic stability control. Now on the passenger side of the Veloster, depending on where you have the seat, it is manually adjustable. And at someone of my stature, again about 6'1" to about 6'2" or 3, you can actually fit extremely comfortably here in the passenger side of the vehicle. Now for the glove box, it falls nice and damped, nice and soft, not lined with felt, but it's not a luxury vehicle anyways. But overall, the Veloster Turbo offers the potent performance of a turbocharged power plant with a small, eco-friendly 4-cylinder layout and also a very well-designed, very luxurious yet sporty interior for those seeking to have a little bit more of a fun driving experience rather than your everyday economic commute. Absolutely awesome.